All right. Welcome to another episode of the Denezier podcast. It's been well overdue. It's been so long since we actually did an episode. It's been so long, and if you didn't know that, I'll just give you a quick update. We did move to Dallas. I am in the Florida office right now, but we did move to Dallas to open a second location, so that actually interfere with our schedule that we were supposed to have here on a weekly basis. But all that to say, to God be the glory, because business is growing, we are expanding. And by the grace of God, we're still here. Today, we have the one and only. You saw this guy before, and there is a way you got to introduce someone who puts you on a path for your life to change. And this is the introduction, the best introduction I can give to Caminero, because this guy changed my life. And you don't know who you're going to encounter in life. So that's why you got to always treat people good. So I was introduced to the financial industry by his wife, and the wife said, "Hey, you got to meet my husband, and he's in life insurance." At that time, I was doing Medicare insurance, and I said, "Well, sure, let me meet him." And then everything changed. So I met Miguel, and from day one, we just connect. And I started coming into meetings and so on. And all of a sudden, I left Medicare and I started doing life insurance full time. And this guy held my hand until I get, I become an MD, and then I grew. And I make so much money, more money than I was doing in Medicare. And it's all thanks to this guy who actually take the chance on me to change my life. Now, he's very humble, because last time I say that, this is what he said. He said, "James, listen, you have a burning desire when you met me. That's why you were able to do what you do. But I was only there to tell you how the system works." I say all that to say, Miguel, good to have you. Welcome, my brother. How are you?
Doing great, man. Thank you for having me again.
Yes.
Right? It's an honor and a privilege to be sharing the panel with you. As you were sharing this information, it's so funny because we always talk about you never know what God, life, the universe is going to put around you. Things happen in stranger ways, and how we actually came across, and we have an opportunity for me just to be the server leader to help you, and so amazing to see your family, your business, your kids actually growing, and how you actually been able to build a lifestyle around this industry.
Yes, sir. Well, to God be the glory. And I'm forever grateful for you and your wife. And I'm forever grateful for that conversation your wife and I had to actually meet you. Yes. Because if that connection never happened, can you imagine? If that connection never happened, like,
none of us actually would have been here.
Right? You just never know, man. You just never know. But I know a little bit of your story. But I want to ask you, so the viewers can hear your story. Before financial services, who was Miguel? Like right now, I know you're doing very well. You have a great organization. You're leading a great team. But before all that, just let us know, who is Miguel Caminero before, all the success you're having right now?
So I think that Miguel was someone that hardworking individual. I can call it that way. Hardworking individuals, values and principle was always important, but always searching for more.
Mm-hmm.
Searching for more. Trying to do corporate ladder didn't work for me. Go to school. Actually, I immigrated to this country 18 years ago to study engineering, and then I switched to international business. But I did retail, warehouse, I worked for the military bases. And I have a lot of limited belief, I would say that, prior to coming to this industry, because this industry is not only about what we do for families, but it's actually who you can become. And it's so powerful to see how, we said the books, the environment, the association plays a huge role. And it sometimes sounds cocky, right? Like cocky, like, it's the same thing, but it is the reality. It is the reality. So prior to see what you guys see today, he was a guy who actually just have limited beliefs, self-doubts, but he knew that he wanted to do something more. Just didn't know how to, and didn't know the people.
That's good. That's very good. And sometimes, and I've had that in my life, where you have the potential, you want something bigger and greater, but sometimes you just have to find someone to actually get it out.
It's like match your energy,
yeah,
right?
Like just like match that energy, man. So that's pretty good. Now, I know when I was under your leadership, if someone asked me to describe you in one word, I know my word would be perseverance. That would be my word. But now, as you are leading your team right now, you're leading an organization. If I was to ask one of you guys, hey, describe Miguel in one word, what do you think it would be?
I think it would be discipline.
Discipline.
Yes.
Elaborate a little bit more. Tell us about that.
So when you build in a business, any kind of business, it requires for you to have always casting the vision and always selling the vision to yourself. And in order for you to sell the vision to yourself and the dream, you need to have a discipline, right? And discipline about, like, for example, for the past 4 months, I've been changing my whole eating habits, workout, constantly checking myself with the nutritional and all these things. And it comes back to the discipline. And when I break it down, it's like having clarity, like, okay, this guy go places. I don't know if I'm going to be able to match his energy right now, but I know that if I stick around, I'm going to be able to get something out of me. So I think that if you talk to any of my guys at this point, I think it's been the level of discipline that I have. And it comes down with certainty, clarity along the way.
That's true. I can definitely see that happen. Patrick but David always talking about who do you want to be,
Yes.
right? And there's a level of discipline when you make that decision that it required to get to the next level. And just thinking back, us working together, yeah, you usually like come to the office very early and leave very late. And when you're doing the company
Man, I wish that more
overview-
people actually can hear that, just so you know.
It's true. And even when you're doing the company overview, you always like, I'll say 90 to 95% on point on everything. So you're very, very disciplined. And one thing I can say, you also pay attention to details a lot. You pay attention to details. So I remember we going to field training, and one of the field training we went, I don't know if you remember, was my wife's mom and dad. We went there, and I remember you doing a presentation for them, and it's like everything we were taught at the office, when you sat at the table, it was the same thing, just repeating, you just duplicate it. And that was one of the reasons I was able to just take it and run with it and become MD so fast. So I can definitely see the sector of discipline you're mentioning for sure. My next question for you, what was the main thing that actually attract you in financial services? Like, if you had to narrow it down, what was that one thing or the main reason you really stick to financial services?
You know that I actually got that question before. Somebody actually, couple months ago, we went to our regional convention, and we were talking about like what really actually studying to you when it comes to financial services. Why financial services? Why not real estate? Or why not, right? And I think that it was about that I saw the necessity within our community when it comes to financial education. Back in DR, our family had businesses, the traditional business. You got bodegas and you have, commercials and stuff like that. But nobody talked to you about, saving money for the future. You were just waiting for that family member that would pay you for everything. And you know that you were set, right? Because somebody actually paid the price before.
That's true.
So coming into the financial service industry, I saw the opportunity for me to actually learn, right, about financial concept, which I'm not good at math, just so you know. Future confession.
As long as you can calculate those commissions, good.
I'm pretty sure they know how to do it, right? Those commissions, we know those commissions, right?
Right.
But the crazy thing about it was actually the fact that I learned so much about finance and concept and understanding what was the reason why people were not in a better position. It was nothing to do with the money. It's everything to do to they don't know how it works in our job, and that's the reason why we get paid so well. Because we actually get paid to educate people, to educate families. And especially that you and I coming from another country, we immigrate to this country a couple years back. Our parents immigrated to this country. They took a leap of faith. And these are things that we don't have it because of lack of knowledge, or we don't speak the language. We don't speak the money language. And that's what happened. So that was actually something that really attracted me. And listen, if you wouldn't tell me 6 years ago that I would be here in front of you, I would have said, no, man.
No way.
There's no way, man. Like, I don't have the qualifications for it.
That's an understatement. And even I can say the same thing for myself as well. And, looking at it from an immigrant's, point of view, when you look at finances, typically we don't have that conversation with our parents. No, mom and dad, they just so stressed going through about life the way they view life, and they don't even expose financial conversation to the kids. And as you're seeing that, that's one of the reasons we get paid so well, because first and foremost, we talk in the money language. right? And one conversation can set up someone for life, whether it's a traditional policy or maybe building a retirement or maybe an annuity that's going to give you lifetime income. Whatever it is, it all starts with one conversation. And I can even say right now, if I didn't come and meet with you, there are so many people I've helped that would have never happened. Never. Maybe they would.
And imagine the amount of families and legacies that now they're gonna be so thankful because you reach out to them, because
Yo.
you took the time. No, it's crazy. It's crazy how the meaning behind the service that we do.
That's true. And you know, I can share this with you. A couple years ago during COVID, I received the phone call we never want to receive.
Yes.
And one of my client passed. And you know what I was so angry about is the fact that I could have pushed a little bit more to give him more coverage.
Yeah, because when they actually received the money, they said, "Man, why we actually wouldn't have an extra 100 or $200, $300 bucks? That wouldn't be a difference of 10, 20 bucks."
Exactly. And all that were to be possible, and for me to experience that was all because the start of working together.
Yes.
And I'm forever grateful for that, man. And just know that you are part of the conversation at my house. Whenever there's a thankfulness and gratefulness and gratitude, it's always start with you and your wife for that industry. Now, for working financial services and any business really, but especially in the field we are in, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Working with people, man.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
happened.
Jesus
We
Christ.
emotional, man. We emotional.
You know, people will quit on you, client will cancel on you. I mean, you name it, we experience it. So I know at times I want to quit. Like I thought about quitting, especially towards the beginning. But what are some of the things like for you to keep going the way you're going? Because I'm sure at one point you probably thought of like giving up. What actually kept you going and you never quit?
You know, I actually was reading a book the other day about leadership from the author John Maxwell. And I'm going to read it real quick. I have that. They says, "You're not entitled of the outcome, but you're entitled of the opportunity to get the outcome." You know what I mean? So you cannot control the results, but you can control the opportunity of the results. And to answer your question, I think that when you being able to put time and effort and energy and money into a business, I think there's something called ego, but you're going to use the ego for the positive side. And you say, "Man, I've been putting so much time and effort into this business. This business is going to work no matter what. And I'm going to go through the trench till this business works." Because if it works for somebody else, right? And, you know, when you're building this business, especially when people like you, like me, that have kids, these kids went through the process. We own it to them. We own it to our family. We own it to our wife. We all went to the people that actually believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to make it work. Sometimes some people it's going to take it 3 months. For some people, it's going to take 3 years. For other people, it's going to take 10 years. But it's actually, there's a higher probability this is going to work for you. So we give up too fast because, just so you know, and we know that this is not only a motivational statement, but when you are so close right there to the giving up, another opportunity will open up. You know what I mean? So of course I've been in that position, but I said, "Man, no, hold on. So many people believe in me when I started. I owe it to these people. It's not only about the money, but man, you want to make your family proud. You want to say, "Man, that's my dad. My dad was the one that actually set up our life, not only as an example, but he's my superhero." And you get emotional about it because, like, man, it goes more than just the commission is great, the traveling is great, you know, being able to go to the store or being able to, you know, my daughter actually, she's been in a dance academy for 3 years, and being able to actually do that for her without asking how much is this, how much is that, it's a peace of mind that you say, "Man, I'm heading to the right direction. I'm driving to the right direction." Sometimes you're not going to have all the clarity, but it's going to help you.
Definitely. Oh yeah, what such a great answer. Such a great answer. Because at one point, if your why is not strong enough, you know, sometimes you may just fall in between the cracks. I remember, speaking of your daughter, my daughter the other day.
We need to get these girls together, man.
We need to.
Back in the day, they were too little, you know, but we had to get these girls together.
I think they will have so much fun.
I traveled to Dallas, just so you know.
There you go. There you go. Let's go. My daughter the other day asked me pretty much everything she asked for or she wants, her and my son. It's like the only reason they're not getting it is because they wasn't behaving for some stuff. It's not because we don't have the money. right? And one day she came to me. She said, Daddy, I said, yes, baby. Are we rich? I said, what do you mean? I said, are we rich? You a millionaire or billionaire? I said, baby, let me tell you something. Whatever amount of money we have is for me and mommy. You have to build your own. So mommy and daddy got money, all right? But I'm going to teach you how to build your own. But putting yourself in that position where you feel comfortable, to actually not just grow a business, but you have your daughter witnessing that, and she's very humble. She has a lot of gratitude. So one thing I always say as well, like for my kids, they're not going to be entitled for what we have. We're going to teach you how to run a business. We're going to teach you how to do certain things. So when you are saying that people believe in you, your family believe in you, this is more than enough to keep going.
Yes. That's like the fuel.
That's the fuel.
Yes.
Even though sometimes you wake up, you're like, man, like this morning, I got here very late. I landed at like close to 11 o'clock, and I went to my brother's house, and I went to my mom's house. So I slept with my mom in my dad's house, and it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock when I get there, and I had my first appointment at 9 a.m. So I had to be here. Make sense? But even with that, did I feel like waking up? No, I just want to sleep in. But knowing that people are counting on me, people believe in me, looking at my daughter's face, my son's face, my wife, they believe in me. You think I can stay in bed? I can't. So I like the fact that you mentioned that, when people believe in you, you don't just quit like that. Now, tell me your first 90 days in this business. Like, let's go back there. I know you mentioned people quitting too early and so on, but I don't want the highlight reel. I want the true first 90 days. What was going through your mind?
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about the just showing up for me to build my confidence. I didn't know anything about, at that moment, I probably didn't speak the money language. So I need to learn, and attending to the meetings, that the company provides at that moment. I was like, this is too much. This is too much. This is all this is a lot of information that I have to give to someone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did I have to memorize that? And then we were back in the days, that's what was it, with a piece of paper, right? And we have to write the presentation, and how do you break down a policy, and how do you actually find the necessity of someone doing the dime, and all this financial concept that's actually out there. So there was actually a lot of, like I said, self-doubt, limited belief. But man, I just keep showing up. I didn't know if it's gonna work or not, And it was funny because I started attracting different people like you and all the leaders that I've been able to be part of their life. And one, I remember you said something that I'm never gonna forget this. And it says, Miguel, you were learning today and you were applying tomorrow.
Yeah.
You said that all the time. And he said, I know that you are a humble leader, that based on title, based on business experience, I have more business experience, meaning James, right? But when it comes to the business, you are the leader.
Yeah.
And sometimes you actually need some kind of, I would say, humbleness, but at the same time, you as the person who's learning, you put a chip on your shoulder and you say, man, these people are counting on me for me to learn every day, right? Because I need to learn.
Like, no pressure.
No pressure, right? But I'm learning, and then I'm bringing 10 people tomorrow, right?
Yep.
That's basically what it is. But, it was just about learning. It was learning and be willing to do it. I didn't have no entitlement. I didn't know anything about it, but I wanted to do more. So I think it was actually the level of clarity that I was having, that I was getting through the process, that allowed me to attract more people, because in this business you attract people. You become a magnet. So the better you become, the better people you get.
I agree.
And I think I had the opportunity to help people like you.
And I remember, and it bring a level of respect as well. And because I have a decent understanding, because you never, like when I come to you to something, you never say no. It's always like, give me a minute, or let me get back to you type of stuff. And then you go find out and you come right back to me. And when you come to me, you come with an energy, and people always know Miguel is in the office. Miguel is one of the loudest person in the office. People, like if Miguel is here, But I like the fact that you're learning, you're teaching, you're learning, you're teaching. So I never look past you as like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. No, I see it in a way, okay, oh, that's actually pretty cool. He's learning as we go. So we building together. That was my vision when it comes to that. Man, we had some really good time, man.
I love that what you say, learning and building at the same time.
Yes.
Learning together, building together, like a real partnership.
Yes.
Not corporate. I'm not your boss. I'm not your manager. We're building something together.
Yes.
We have our own interests, but we have interests together to build something special.
To build something together. Yeah. And one thing as well, when in this industry, we talk about being logical as well. And the moment you become too logical, you start processing things, then you're not a math teacher.
Yeah.
Right. And things start becoming complicated as well. So I think it's a very, like, if somebody's listening to this, whether like, you know, whatever part you're in business or even if it's financial services, there is beauty on the unknown.
Yes.
There's a lot of beauty in the unknown. And why I say this, because people have different characters. You may see someone who constantly dream and who constantly casting the vision, and this is who they are and this is how they operate. And you may have someone, they ask all the right questions to know all the details, and then they get lost in the details. Those who get lost in the details, production seems to be very low and they become bitter about the industry. But really, no. You know a lot, but you're not taking effective action to make things happen. You're not seeing clients. I can ask you about an IUL right now. My God, you'll tell me, what? Listen, when the market crashed in 2008, 38 point something percent, this is how much the market lost. But this particular index strategy still getting 2%. Like, you know all the details, but yet you're not sitting with clients. So when a new agents come in, you get all your philosophy to the agent. You the perfect product guy.
You praising yourself, just so you know, when you do that.
Yes.
Literally.
And yeah, it's just, anyway, there is beauty in the unknown. When you just like, you're learning, you're growing, you're learning, you're growing, and you don't get too technical in this industry because it can get pretty dangerous. Now, for you who's building a team, this is coming from a stance of leadership as well, because you're dealing with different personalities.
Yeah.
We deal with different personalities all day long, whether it's clients or it's new agents. Now, when someone have doubts on themselves, what are some of the places you go to bring life back to this person?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question, because when people have doubts, right, that means that something happened before the doubt, because that's just trigger. That's a reaction. Okay, that's an emotional reaction. So, but what triggers that reaction? It was actually, in our business, lack of productivity. It was actually lack of, you got distracted, you got a family member, family loss, you got some financial issues, right? And then you start doubting on yourself, and then you actually translate that into the business. When I sit down with somebody that have doubts, I say, I'm gonna go personal. I'm gonna say, hey, so how's families doing? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's work? I wanna know exactly. I wanna go back to the roots. Where that doubt come from? Because it's not about where they are right now. It's actually where they were before. So it's very important.
It's a good perspective.
Yeah. So it's very important to go back again and check the person. It's a human being. So check on that person, see what that person is, meet them in their level to see how you can bring them back into the action, how you can bring them back into the arena, right? How you can bring them back to go and play, because that's everything what it is. And we do that even with ourselves as a leader too. You know what I mean? Just different levels.
Yeah. I'm curious now. That's a follow-up question, not per se in a perspective of doubt, but when you have a bad day, what are some of the things you do?
In a personal level?
Yeah.
Man, first and foremost, I actually want to say, God, what you want to show me during this time?
What's the lesson?
What is the lesson? What is the lesson? Tell me, Linda, tell me. So first and foremost, I want to know, first, I believe in a higher powers. I'm gonna say, so God, what exactly you want to show me here? And then I'm gonna go and gonna say, okay, what I couldn't do better, if it was something in a personal level, business, the transactions that I did, an investment that I did, and I'm not seeing the results, and then I'm having a bad day because that's a reaction of that. So I need to see exactly how it is. So I'm always gonna go to a higher power, and then after that, I'm gonna analyze my day. So I can either go to Starbucks, or if I'm alone in the house, so I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write things down to see how did I get there, how I got there.
Yes, that's good. And I asked you that as a follow-up question, is because I was recently watching an interview with BBD, and I think the gentleman asked him a similar question. And his answer, I don't know, you've probably seen it already, but his answer was pretty unique. He says, building his financial service company, whenever he's having a bad day, he always call about 5 of his guys, not to talk to them about his day, but to start pouring into them.
Meaning he start asking questions to
Yeah,
them.
meaning that, I'm having a bad day, right? Man, listen, I had 6 appointments today, all of them flocked, no closing. It's raining out there. My wife, I did something that make my wife mad. I don't know, whatever. So it's like it's a bad day I'm having. And when that time come, what he say he does is he would call. Hey Miguel, how you doing? Good, good. Listen, man, how's the family? Start asking you about. You remember when you told me about your dream that you want to do this? Listen, bro, I believe in you, man. You can do this.
So literally, he's doing a reverse engineer.
Yes.
Okay.
And he says, man, he can.
Wow,
So he that's a way to feed himself. There's no way you're gonna give gratitude and feel down.
Yes. What an answer.
What an answer, right? So I'm like, okay, so if I call you one day and I start
now you know if I
now
call
you know, right?
You better actually got dreams and goals, okay?
Right?
You're not gonna say, yeah, it's raining here too. I already have it that day too.
I thought that was pretty cool. That's
Yes.
such a great answer. And I said, I'm going to start practicing that. Now, if you're part of Connecting America, you see this, act like you didn't hear me, okay?
Yes.
So if you get that phone call, James is having a bad day. Hey, shut up. No. So you're building a team right now. There are people who have a lot of talents,
Yes.
right? Now, what do you look for beyond talent when you are recruiting or when you have, as you're building your team now? This guy can have a lot of talent, but beyond that, what are some of the things you look at or you look for?
I'm gonna go back to the book that I was reading. So they actually, when I'm reading books or I'm listening, I do a lot of listening. One of the things that I do is I sometimes I pause and then I write some of those statements, right? Those keywords. And they says the most successful people aren't the most talented. They are yet the most determined. People that take action.
Yeah.
So when I see people who are very talented coming into this industry, oh my gosh, so many great people speaking 3 languages, business minded. They don't have no problem investing on themselves. They understand the cost of doing business. They understand the grinding. But in order for them to take action in the timeline that has to take action, they die out in the process. So, but we have both scenarios because we have people in the business that have been able to come with the business mindset and they've been able to take advantage of our system, leadership system. You know, you have a coach system that's going to help you. We're going to work with you. You have an office. So some of them actually been able to take advantage. But there's some other people who say, no, I need to know everything in order for me to take action. And this is my people, blah blah blah. And so they take a lot of time. While you have a brand new person that probably have less than 20% of all the talent that you have, and that person start moving. Right? Because of that person either get talented because it's gifted, or because that person actually developed that throughout their business. It might be a realtor, it might be a mortgage officer, it might be whoever it would be, whatever industry you're part of, the food industry, but you're not in where we at. So you need to actually humble yourself and being able to really understand that it goes back. So when I have somebody like that, I'm going to ask them, are you willing to put 10, 15 hours a week into the business? Are you willing to, what's going to be your commitment coming into our training times twice a week? Are you coming either this day or this day? Like, I'm going to get some commitment, because the thing is that if I don't get no commitment from you, James, it's going to be hard for me to show you results. And then you're going to doubt the industry.
That's true.
Right? And then what I said to my team nowadays is like, I would fail you as a leader if I don't confront you and I tell you exactly what's going to happen if you don't move, if you don't do the things of the business, the elements of the business, you're going to fail. And then your wife is going to come to me and going to say, oh, the business didn't work. No, your husband did, just so you know. And that's a tough situation. And I think that PVD has something related. He had told a story when he started back in the other industry, in the other company, that he said that, hey, I'm going to have James. So it's like you come in every day, James, to the office. And then your wife is assuming that you're doing everything, but you're not bringing money home. And what happened was that he said that he actually had the guy calling his wife with PVD in front of him, and he said, I want you to call your wife. What do you mean? No, I want you to call your wife, and I want you to let him know, I want you to let her know that you're actually on social media when you're supposed to be making calls, learning the business. So I want you to call her and let her know that that's the reason why you're not bringing money home.
I remember that story too.
Right,
Yes,
that
yes.
story. Can you imagine? Actually, said like your husband is actually in social media. What embarrassing moment, right? But that's what it is. So at sometimes, and I said to people, if we as a leaders, as a coaches, we don't tell our people up front exactly how things gonna go. Of course, there's actually respect and ways that you actually say certain things. Life would tell them.
It's true.
You know, the job.
That's true.
So people getting laid off left and right now. Companies are shutting down. They're not asking you, hey, is your family's gonna be okay? They're just shutting down and they go bankrupt to not pay you for any benefits, by the way.
That's true. Like all the time invested gone. And you know, people always mention like when you're looking at entrepreneurship or having a job, the first thing that comes to their mind is security.
Yeah.
But really, your burning desire to succeed is more of a security than a job, because the job can let you go at any given time. All they need is new management, or maybe they go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Your family is now you didn't build anything. So yeah, you absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Talk to me a little bit about culture, because I know you're very big in culture when it comes to financial services, especially when we work together. What does the culture actually look like in a day-to-day in your organization?
So faith-based, that's important. We respect each other. One of the things that I would say is that since we respect each other, we understand that everybody has different opinions. There's people that are gonna come in different speed, right? Some people are gonna grow faster than other, but we all have the same opportunity. We all have the same opportunity. So culture for me is it's important. I think that energetic, somebody who's actually have high level of energy. We have a problem, come with three solutions and one problem, so that way we can process it together, right? And I think that the reason why we also get paid so well, because we get paid to solve problems. Right? Problem solvers. So I want to be able to have an organization and continue and constantly your culture is constantly growing and getting better. It's about understanding that yes, where we are right now doesn't define us, but where we're going is actually the most exciting part.
Yes.
Right. So always have a team, always have an organization, a company that know what's the vision of the company. So that way you guys can keep the culture, because besides the culture of we getting together, we actually love each other, we care each other. What is the vision? That's actually when I keep your team together, because we actually have all something in common, because not everybody love each other. So if we don't like each other, right, we are in a multicultural industry. When you have different from people nationality. I mean, right now here in the room, you got Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Haitian. Some people have different perspective about every single one of the country, but we have the same vision.
Yes,
we want to grow together. We actually here because we want to come through for our family. We want to do the right thing. That's all we need.
So that's it. The vision is always bigger than all of us, because we will die, the vision will stay.
Yes.
And I was talking to my guys a few nights ago. I was telling him everything we do has to relate to the vision of where we're going.
Yes.
So if you are doing something right now and that's not for us to get better, meaning open our second location, then what are you doing? A third location in North Carolina, then what are you doing? Everything we do is to drive the vision of the company. And we spoke about as well, because we're such a baby company, the whole thing about running a whole state. Like right now, it's like we recruit someone in Massachusetts. Can you imagine you are the first person we recruit in Massachusetts, and you'll override the whole state, technically speaking, so it's like the vision. We always have to continue to cast the vision, and the culture become, okay, I don't care the fact that, you hate your toe yesterday. I'm so sorry. It's painful right now, but the vision. Yeah, I know your wife is a little upset right now, but the vision. Yes, I understand. It's always going back to the vision, and we create a culture. Once we understand the vision is bigger than the CEO, is bigger than anyone that's actually there as part of the culture, then we're like, okay, we gotta move this thing.
It's like a sports, man. It's like a sports. Like when people practice, when they practicing for the Olympics or anything like that. That's basically what it is.
That's exactly what it is, man. It's a sport. So for structure, I know you're very systematic. You are very persistent. So what system or structure have you been using to really scale your business?
Well, one of the things this is a question that can go different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They can different ways. So I think that one of the blessings that we have the playbook, right? We have a manual, we have a business manual we can use as a reference to when you feel lost in a business, go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the basics. Remember when you were new. Remember what was the elements, what were the team, what were those areas that put it together that help you to get where you are today. So I think that right now, keep it into the fundamentals. I think it's very important. Fundamentals for every single business is different. You got prospecting, you got calls, you got presentations, you have these follow-ups, you got different elements. But one of the things that in our business is being able to really take people to see that the business works and get them people to make money. You know what I mean? So right now, if I have a brand new guy into my team, license, everything, I want to make sure that person, I can show them within 30 days that person can make extra $2, $3, $4,000, whatever would be the number, right? I'm going to show them that I can teach you and show you how to do it and follow the system and being able to say, okay, this is an hour, 2 hours of work. It's simple. The part that you need to work is actually in your personal. That's the one that's going to take a little bit more time. And even us, we're still growing as a leaders, as a coaches, because it's always, you cannot compare the stage 10 of somebody with the stage 1. And that's the problem that sometimes people come across, that they actually want to compare different levels. Year 1 with year 10. We're in a different levels, man. We're in the same industry, but that's the reason why when you got something going on, you actually want to quit or you actually want to run away. I faced the problem because I already went through it, right? So to answer the question, it's just stay back to the fundamentals, right? That really is going to help you in making sure that person can able to see the business. In our business is actually sitting with people, see the simplicity of the process, see the impact that you can make in that family.
That's true. It's such an impactful industry, and you can do so much outside of making money. People you meet, the life you change,
and the people that you meet that can help you to open door for you to put you on places and in tables. Only through that person you will be able to meet. I've been able to be with the commissioners of Orlando, St. Cloud, different counties here in Florida, in Orlando area. I've been able to go to the city hall. I've been able to sit down with the Department of the police officers here in Orlando, just because I was actually in the right place promoting my business.
That's pretty significant. And it show you, as you said, we're dealing with people, right? This business is a people business.
Yes.
And I was watching something the other day. This lady was breaking down, and we're just going back into the faith base you mentioned. She says, our problem is when we get to business, we're looking for ways to make money, but we're not looking for the people to serve. I want you to pay attention. We're looking for a way to make money, but we're not looking for people to serve. And she actually went to the Bible. She mentioned that when, which I did a training about recruiting. Remember that training, recruiting with Jesus, the best recruiter ever? She went back to that same verse. She mentioned that when Jesus recruited Peter, Jesus told him that I'm going to teach you how to fish for men, right? What was Peter trying to do? Peter was trying to catch fish, perhaps. He was a fisherman. That was his nature of business. That was his way of living. But Jesus said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to fish for men. So if we look at it, how he transitioned to our business is, okay, we have to fish for the people who want our services, who's looking for our services, or even they don't even know they need our services, right? So we seek for those men and women to add value. To me, it was very powerful when you shift that mindset, like, oh man, I got to make money. You got to make money. But no, who am I going to serve? And how am I going to impact them? Then it's shift. It's a big transition for business, if you ask me. But as we're coming to an end, I always like to think of the new person, right? PBD has something he always say. He says, never forget your first day. Never forget how it felt when you first got started. So if there is someone listening to this right now and they just get started and they're brand new, they're unsure about the industry, what would you say directly to them?
So if you're brand new into the industry,
Your license, just got your license, and you're coming in, and they kind of unsure. Maybe they don't have the right system, or they don't know. They're just unsure. What would you say to them being brand new?
what do you want, James? What do you want to get out of this business? What do you want to do with this license?
So you go straight there.
Yeah. Do you like what do you want to just sell policies, help couple families, make some extra income? Are you looking to retire your parents? If you marry, are you want to make your wife more proud of you, the man that she marry? Like what are the like get to the emotional side, like get to the point that that's actually person's gonna move, because people quit to money fast, but it's hard to quit to people. When you have an army, trust me, even if you had a bad day, you said, I may see overriding $250,000 income. But if I actually have a brand new guy, because I remember, I wanna know exactly what that person actually is drive by. I wanna know was what move you. What was the reason why you even get your license? Because that's actually what that person is gonna move them. Because man, in this industry is a beautiful industry. It's a very noble industry. By George Jordan, the Living a Life of Significance. That's a powerful book that everybody should read. Everybody should read that book. Living a Life of Significance by George Jordan, and he explains exactly what's the reason why people come into this industry. By the way, it's the industry that has made more millionaires in America and continue making people millionaires and billionaires, right? But it's everything to do with what was the clarity of that person when that person came on board.
That's true.
Like, what was the reason why? Because I tell you, some people actually say, oh my God, I struggled to get that license. So difficult. Some other people say, man, that was a piece of cake.
Right.
I thought it's going to be harder. I have an agent of mine who actually got the life first. And then a couple of weeks later, I think within 2 weeks, he said, oh, can I get my health? I was like, why don't you put me to actually sign up for both of them? And I was like, because this is the one that we're gonna focus on. And then later on, we can refer you to someone or whoever we want to work on the health side. But that person actually within a month, that person did the 2 licenses, passed with 80%. I was like, good for you, man. That's not everybody, just so you know.
That's
I would
true.
love for you to attract people like that, right, into your business. But that's not actually the average agent. That was not me, by the way. That was not me.
I took mine 3 times, I think.
Well, just so you know, 2 years prior to our platform that you and I we were part of, I tried to come into the company that you were a captive agent, and I failed 3 times. I was reading books. I got the book, right? And I'll tell you off the line, but I was reading the book, and I didn't say anything. And you know the crazy thing about it, I got you because you become Christian at that moment. It's like, oh, this is a sign from God that He don't want me to do this. Because I felt
all of a sudden, right?
Out of the sudden, now you become Christian, right? I was like, this is a sign from God that He doesn't want me to do this. But I failed 3 times, 69, 69, 69. You just need 70 to pass.
Wow.
And then, but God knew He got something better for me because I stopped studying. And then I continued I never stopped working, but I continued doing my work, right? And then I forgot. And then 2 years after, and then I came on board into the industry.
Look at this. That was a good start for you, though, because at least you experienced that before you actually get into it. And, as I'm thinking about the question that I ask you as well as we're coming to an end, is never forget where you come from and never forget why you get started. And I like the fact that you would say, hey, why did you get the license in the first place, right? And for that reason alone, whether it was for you to do a side hustle, make extra money, or you just heard that, man, you can you can retire your parents from this, whatever it may be, it's a good place to start, right? People quit way too early. And sometimes I sit back, I'm like, man, what if I had given and actually quit?
You know how many times I asked that question too? Myself, oh yeah, 100%.
I guess I'm not alone there.
What about if I actually wouldn't let that distraction, not even quit, that distraction to get me alone? What about if I actually that situation, that personal, that health situation, or that family situation? What about if I wouldn't listen to the people that cares? Because your family cares about you. That's the reason why they want you. They protect you. That's the reason why they say, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yep.
Because they don't know any better. So they want to protect you. And your brains are designed to protect you when they actually see danger.
Yeah.
right? Or something that's unknown.
Mhm.
So you have to train your brain, right? So in this case, I would ask myself, what about if I wouldn't pay attention to those people? But you know the crazy thing about it, years after, these people actually, not because we already got there, right? We got so much work to do right now.
Mhm.
But these people respect you and they say, you know what, Miguel? I
Yeah.
got a message from one of the agents that said to me, she sent me a message. She said, Miguel, I'm so grateful you stick around because you've been able to become an example for me
Mm.
of your perseverance, of the stuff that you've been able to do in the business, the income, the family, the example, the man that you have become, the father that you have become, the mindset. People come to me now, James, with all due respect and also glory to God, to ask you for advice. I say, hold on, but you understand?
Yep.
That's exactly the person that you're becoming today. So that's for me, that's priceless. You know, I was like, the other day, really quick, I got two people actually coming, two different people that don't know each other. And they come in and say, hey, Miguel, I just want to give you a call to let you know that I'm so grateful. I thank God for your life every single day because since I met you, you actually stick around. Every time that I have a question about my policies, you always help me out. You always tell me about the things are going to be changing.
That's good.
You this and that. And then I have another lady that say, I have you in my dreams. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, I was waiting for an opportunity like this. I was praying for an opportunity. So she's working with us. We building a team in Pancos. And she said to me, you know, I have a dream and I saw the person that I'm training, right? There's a friend of her, but she said, but I saw somebody else, but it was a shadow. I didn't see the person. But when you came through that door for a field training appointment, that person said, you were the person of my dream. What do you do at that moment? Are you going to do a presentation? What kind of presentation are you going to be doing? Are you going to sell a policy? What kind of policy are you going to be selling? Like a YouTuber say, don't worry, this is for free. Right? Because you just get such amazing compliment
Yeah.
and understanding now how God is actually working in miracle ways and the person that you're becoming. And so excited, so grateful. What a sense of humbleness into the process, right? So when I hear those stories like that, I was like, man, I got so much work to do. You know, now being part of the podcast, you know, with you here, thank you for inviting me again. As soon as actually Patrick actually called me and said, what do you need from me? I feel the same way. And I say, James gonna be here, perfect. I need to see this guy out there on social media.
It's been
and
a while.
stuff. It's been a while, right? But is what it is, you know, because you made time for what is important. I got my appointments lined up. I got a couple of things, but I said, I'm gonna make some time. How long you need me? 1-2 hours? Perfect. I'm gonna make some time. And I'm here.
That's
Okay.
good, man. And I'm happy you are here.
Yes.
And you are such a great friend, such a good leader. And anyone right now who's under your leadership are blessed because you really lead with your heart. You really do lead with your heart. And whatever you say, people can actually take it to the bank because you see the good in people. You look at their best interests and you truly just want to build with them. And that's exactly what I experienced with you. And even outside of our experience, our friendship still remain the same. Family man, God-fearing man. So it's very good to be your friend. It's very good to be your partner. It's very good to have you as someone I can call and just have a conversation. Whether
Sure.
it's business, whether it's family, whatever it is, we can process any issues with each other. And I know you will always have the best intention at heart for me and vice versa. So it's always good to have you, brother.
Thank you so much for having me, my man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this was another episode of the Denezier Effect podcast. And, you know, when I talk to Miguel and people who's close to me and people that that have a very, very positive impact in my life, it's always an emotional thing for me, you know, because this guy and his wife actually changed my life. And literally, I mean, changed my life. Because maybe that day I came in, maybe you was going through something. I don't know. Or maybe you could be like, I don't feel like it. Or maybe you was feeling lazy. You did not give me the attention I deserve. And today, no Connecting America.
Yeah. Just so you know, for people that are actually watching this, it wasn't a Sunday afternoon. You give me 2 hours. You give me probably an hour and a half for you to sit down with us.
Yeah.
The person that was training me at that moment, I said to that person, this person has an hour and a half and he's going to church.
Yep.
And you mentioned that I'm going to church a couple times prior to us to explain the presentation and tell you exactly about the business opportunity. And we didn't know nothing. We didn't know, meaning I don't know what was going to be the outcome. You know what I mean? And then literally it was like, okay, so it's 1 o'clock. We're leaving at 3. So tell me what you guys got for me.
Yep.
Literally, a lot of people think it was actually a smooth process. It was not.
It was not.
It was not.
And at
But
that
it
time,
wasn't that you were difficult. You just actually had your things.
yes.
You know, you actually at that moment, you know, got your priority. You were going to church, and then you say, "Hey, babe, we're just gonna sit there." You know, you came with your wife, and you say, "You know what? We're just gonna stop by. I'm gonna listen to the information." What she actually didn't know that she actually ended up being recruited.
Right?
She got, and then you say, "But I thought that was just your supportive spouse, not the person who's gonna be." So she actually she got involved into the business, and then after that, you were the person leading. But yeah, that a lot of people don't
A
know
lot
that
of people
part.
don't know. I remember this, man. I remember
It was
the
a Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon.
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you that part, and I know my wife tell that story. On our way to church, my wife was so mad. The fact that first and foremost, she wasn't expecting that meeting. Second, she wasn't expecting to get on board and get an agent code, and she was so angry the fact that we spent a couple hours and all of that happened so fast. But you ask her today, she's very grateful for that time today.
Sometimes in life, James, we're gonna go through those unknown moments, like you were mentioned.
Yep.
You're gonna go through those unpleasant moments that sometimes you don't know where it's gonna take you, but you have you're a man of God. You know, you guys are a family that serve a living Christ, and I think that that's basically what it is. Sometimes we have to go through that, and you have to have a faith. You have to have a faith on the process, and that's what happened. You guys were in a well put together. You know, you actually have your finance in order. You were a top producer in the other company, and the fact that you give yourself an opportunity to think outside of the box and being able to push your wife a little bit, just like I've been able to do with mine, just so you know, to think outside of the box and being able to actually become and say, you know what, we have a brand today. We have a podcast. We have a second location. We live in another state because of one decision that we were scared. We didn't know if it's going to work. We just have a leap of faith in ourselves. And we know that God is actually works with us.
That's it.
That's it, man.
Man, I don't think I could have put that any better. I think you nailed it. You definitely nailed it. But yeah, man, we're forever grateful for you, forever thankful for the opportunity you and your wife take us under your wings. And today we have our company Connecting America, and we're opening our second location and then our third location in North Carolina. Thank you so much. And I just want to let everybody go with this. Always treat people right.
Yes.
Whoever they are, always treat people right, because you never know what kind of impact that person will have in your life. And also, if you're planning on having kids, or if you have kids, definitely if you have kids, you should treat everybody right, because you know what? They kids will grow up with your kids. So you just think about some commotion that's happening right now. And I know of some personally where the fathers then get along, and now the kids are growing, they also divided. So I'm saying all that to say, whatever you do, just continue to treat people right and continue to put God first. With that being said, may God bless you, may God bless your family, and may God bless America. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Another great episode.
That was people find out a little bit more about the process.
Right?
People didn't know about that Sunday.
Oh
Fantastic
my
job,
God.
guys. Fantastic job.
Freddie didn't know this part.